Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of correlation and regression, as usual, we will be considering the relative strength and the weaknesses in today's session. The European session has been kind of phenomenal for major currencies trading against the dollar. We have seen substantial gains for the AUD and the NZD in specific, and also there have been gains for European currencies as well. So we will see how we can play this momentum in these currencies against the dollar, and if it is likely to persist or not, and if it is likely to persist, how much we can gain, and in which particular we have higher chances. So we will be considering all these aspects in today's session, and later on we will also consider the price action data for the equity segment to see how things are shaping up as we are heading into the North American trading session. So let us get started and head to the JForex 4, the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is the USDJPY chart. Here, for understanding the price action and the range, I have added this Donchian channel 24 to get the range of 2 hours and 48 to get the range of 4 hours respectively, and also to consider the immediate momentum. We have this estimate 12 and estimate 24 in place to get the average price prevalent over last 1 hour and 2 hours respectively. Now if we consider the movement in the USDJPY so far in the session, it is trading within the price band created in yesterday's session. There has been no new development here. It has found support on the lower side within this price range, and on the higher side it had risen toward this prior swing high, and from there on again it went into the decline to decline almost 150 pips. But on the lower side it is doing what EURUSD was doing for almost 2 weeks, and here in today's session we can expect the USDJPY to now try to get back toward this prior swing high. So I think in immediate term it is likely to climb back toward this 131.5 level, and that possibility is there. All we have to do is keep looking for buy on dips opportunities, and also we will have to consider the relative strength and the weaknesses of these non-USD currencies, and using that analysis we can see if it is better to go for a trade in USDJPY, or if we have better opportunities emerging in other currencies trading against the dollar. So we will consider that aspect as well. So for that we have to look at the timeline of the decline and the rise. The immediate swing low came in at 10:35 GMT. After that, the reversal of course happened, and USD/JPY started to climb upward with this new swing high taking shape at 14 GMT. Now let's compare it with the other major currencies. Let's consider USDCHF and USDCAD first, as we can look at the same scale. So for USDCHF, the gains from the lower side are muted in comparison to the gains observed for USDJPY. So on that count, it is not a good idea to go for a buy trade in the USDCHF. The USDJPY is much better placed for any buy trade, with the CHF trading quite bullish for the day. We have this USDCHF in decline. In yesterday's session, there were substantial gains for the USD across the board, but that gains eventually evaporated. And after the start of today's European trading session, we saw these currencies gaining ground against the dollar. So CHF has followed the same path, and there have been substantial gains, and it is not trading like USDJPY. JPY is not that strongly bullish against the dollar. It is playing almost within the range, and you can even go for the JPY weakness. You can even go for trades, buy trades in crosses like EURUJPY, AUDUSD, CHFJPY, CADCHF, just like what we are considering for USDJPY, and since we have the strength on this side of non-USD currencies, the major currencies around the world, and JPY being on the weaker side, we are likely to have higher probability in those kind of trades as well. Now let's consider the timeline of the event. So here the decline of the USDCHF was substantial, almost around 1 percentage point, and in comparison to that, the gains are kind of minimal. Still, the high has come in, this immediate swing high. After that, the reversal, of course, seems to be happening again. So USDCHF is not a good idea to look for a buy trade. Rather than that, we are likely to see at least some consolidation with the bullish bias in USDJPY. So that is a better choice, or you can even go for trades in search of trades in CHF as well. Now let's consider what's the development for USDCAD. CAD is trading quite bullish against the dollar, with this continuous decline being observed in USD CAD. The immediate swing high was at 1.365. After that, it had declined 1 percentage point, and it seems to be on course for further decline here. So here also any kind of buy trade should be ruled out as of now, with the momentum being on the CAD side. So we have these opportunities, but even if we want to go for a trade in USD CAD, I think we will have to trade cautiously. It is not really advisable to go for against the trade at the moment in USD CAD, and also if we want to go for a trade in which we expect the CAD to continue to appreciate, even in that scenario, the risk reward ratio is not really in our favor. So it is better to sit on the sidelines. Maybe if we get opportunity again after due consolidation, we can think about shorting the USD CAD. But as of now, given this move already in place, we will have to trade cautious, and of course, the least we can do is sit on the sidelines. And if you want to feel, if you feel like getting involved for a new trade, maybe a short sale trade is a better bet for the USD CAD in keeping with the current momentum. So here the CAD is quite strong. It is apparently even stronger than the CHF. CHF had gone on to make this swing high. Now it seems to be reversing course, but it is still trading above this immediate swing low. So we have seen three major currency crosses, and CAD being the most bullish across the board. It has the highest bullish tendency of all the currencies which we have seen, while dollar is on the weaker side, but JPY is also not showing much of any strength. So that trade is there if you want to go against the trend and wait for the reversal of momentum in US dollar. But in other currencies, it is better to keep looking for the trade with the trend. And here we have the USD CAD, the strongest bet as of now. But before we can conclude, of course, we have to consider other major currencies also. So let's see the development for Euro USD. The Euro USD has also gained substantially after this yesterday's low being made at 1.052, and from there on it has gained almost 100 pips. Even in today's session, the gains have been quite good and on the higher side. It is simply consolidating. It is not as strong as CAD. CAD has continued to make fresh lows. Fresh USD CAD has continued to make fresh lows. That means CAD has made fresh highs against the dollar, but Euro USD, Euro has not made a fresh swing high after this initial high came in a couple of hours back. So on that count, we have to place CAD ahead of the Euro in this bullish streak. So we have this lining of the major currency crosses, with CAD being the strongest of the pack, and Euro USD USDCHF and USDJPY falling behind, with USDJPY being the currency cross in which there is not much of an momentum in existing trend, and rather there are signs of consolidation with the possibilities of a contra trend trade emerging. Now let's consider the GBPUSD. GBPUSD reversed almost all of the decline observed in yesterday's session, and it has made even a fresh swing high. After that, it has gone into a consolidation phase, but this swing high has come in quite later on compared to EURUSD. So it is apparently on the stronger footing compared to the euro, but not as strong as USD CAD. Okay, so the GBP is also a currency in which the momentum is on bullish side against the dollar, with these substantial gains of around 100 points, 100 pips from low to high in today's session. Now it is also consolidating, and it is a currency cross in which I think it is better to keep looking for buy on dips as the momentum is bullish. But then, as I said, CAD is the one with the best momentum, so it is better to go for a trade in USD CAD even if you expect the dollar to remain on the weaker side, as and when due consolidation happens and we have the risk reward ratio in our favor. Let's see the story for AUD. AUD gained substantially in today's session. Here, if we look at this rise, it has not only covered the losses observed in yesterday's session, it has even added to these prior levels. So it is apparently even on the stronger footing compared to the CAD in terms of the magnitude, and now it is inching back toward the immediate swing high as well. So for today's session, the AUD seems to be one of the best placed currency instrument to go long against the dollar. And here, if you feel like, you can even initiate the trade at the moment, with this possibility of a fresh high being created in coming hours. But the stop loss has to be kept wider below this immediate swing low at the minimum, so that entails significant amount of risk. But looking at the current price formation, we do have the chances of AUDUSD keeping its bullish undertone intact and going on to rise further. NZD has also followed the path of its Asia Pacific peer, but the gains are not that strong as in the case of AUD. So the NZD is lagging behind. The trajectory is similar, but only the magnitude of rise is smaller. It is lesser compared to the price rise being observed in AUD. So we have to place it behind the AUD. So in terms of the magnitude as well as the timeline of the rise in today's session, we have the strongest bullish momentum in AUD against the dollar, and we have the weakest bullish momentum in JPY against the dollar. So what you get is the possibility where, if you expect the continuation of the trend where the USD is expected to trade on the weaker side, then we have the instrument of AUDUSD to keep looking for buy on dips trade. And if you expect moving forward the dollar to gain ground and reverse course of these decline observed throughout the day, then we have the USDJPY as the instrument which is going to offer us better opportunities in terms of the risk reward as well as the relative strength phenomena of this momentum. So we will have to keep these factors in mind while defining the direction of the trend as well as the particular instrument in which we want to take the trade. Now let's consider the equity segment. For the equity, we have this Dow Jones Industrial Average making higher highs and higher lows in today's session with this movement which is almost within this prior price band. In yesterday's session, after the initial momentum on the bullish side, we saw sharp reversal and the decline in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, but the losses were contained within this price range, and then we saw this again start of rise where we got the Dow Jones back from 32,900 to now around 33,200. So the immediate trajectory remains positive for the Dow Jones Industrial Average heading into the start of the North American trading session. And as is the case in most of the session, the initial price action is going to be of high importance. We will have to see how things shape up after the start of the session, and depending on that, we can go for a trade. As things stand, the momentum is bullish, but it is not strongly bullish. Rather than that, it is in between these two important levels, so we don't really have any immediate support in place, nor we have the resistance in place. So even if you are simply using this formation of higher highs and higher lows, you will have to keep this immediate low in mind. So there is an area where you can you can keep looking for buying opportunities, and on the higher side you will have to wait for the Dow to climb towards 33,500, and after due consolidation, maybe you can go for a fresh short sale trade. Now looking at the relative strength and the weakness of three major US equity indices. So here for the S&P 500, swing high came in at 1520 GMT, which is just the same as is the case with Dow. For the Nasdaq also, the trajectory is the same, with this low being slightly higher compared to the prior swing low. So that is the only difference. But the difference it is, and that puts the Nasdaq ahead of the two other equity indices in terms of its relative strength and weakness. And just is the case with other equity indices also, the Nasdaq is also trading with these two crucial levels on both sides with the immediate momentum on the buy side. So here also buy on dip strategy can be adopted, and we can go for a higher preference for the buy trade in the Nasdaq compared to the Dow. So that possibility is there, but we will have to trade cautiously here, as we have these price levels which doesn't really offer much appreciation on the higher side, as we have resistance in place, and on the lower side we have the support, but it is not really nearby. So I think maybe we can even adopt a wait and watch approach in the Dow, and allow things to give us a solid direction, and maybe in that trajectory, in that direction, we can take a trade, but only later on after due consolidation. So we will have to keep a watch and pay attention to the price action after the start of US trading session. So that's all from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or anything to share, you do write to me in the feedback, and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. Have a fabulous day ahead. See you next time around. Goodbye.